Hello, hello. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Pretty sure no matter where you are in the country, in the world, it should be 2025, I think. Feel pretty confident about that. So, well, as always, we'll give a couple minutes for people to get in and get settled. So please feel free to say hello. I can see Cash is here. Good to see you, Cash. Happy New Year, buddy. Please say hello. Let me know where you're from, and we'll get started momentarily. I'm just going to check some of my settings because things feel a little quiet. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Hi, Carolyn, Jenna. Hi, Jen. Selwyn in the house. Yes, the Australian contingency is here. They're already in 2026 because they're ahead of us by a lot. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Hi, Gadget. Hello, Bargain. Nathan in the house. It's good to see everyone. If you're just joining us, hi, Jillian. If you're just joining us, say hi. Let me know you're here. And we'll probably get started in another 30 seconds. Just like to get everyone get in, get settled, grab a good seat. Question your existence. That's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Hi, Dave Raven. Happy New Year. Oh, is Lana here? Deleuze in the house. Oh, there she is. Hi, love. Hi, Deleuze. Oh, Deirdre. You know what? You snuck on me. I was like, wow, Gadget. I don't know Gadget Girl Tech. I haven't seen her before, but she seems like she knows what's going on. Okay, now we know. Hi, Deirdre. It's good to see you. Yes, Jenna. All right, we'll let everybody continue to get in. If you're just joining us or hearing my voice, please say hello. Let me know where you're from. Happy New Year. Just some quick stuff. If you don't know me, my name is Ethan. This community conversation is intended to serve as educational content and is not intended to replace therapy. For treatment-related questions, please be sure to work with your local provider or contact a local clinician. If you are in crisis or ever feeling suicidal or unsafe, please call the Suicide and Crisis Hotline at 988. You can also go to your local emergency room or call 911. Of course, the IOCDF is not a crisis hotline. Also, we want to create as safe a space as possible and be kind and respectful to everyone. So please keep that in mind as we share about all the happenings in our life. And keep in mind, this is being recorded and broadcast on multiple social media platforms. With that, still 1990 in Australia. I strangely believe that. How is everyone? If you're in the States, I hope you're staying warm. If you're not in the States and you're somewhere cold, I hope you're staying warm. If you're joining us from Fiji, Hawaii, the Bahamas, anywhere currently summertime, I guess that would be Australia. I hope you're warm and thankful. Hi, Valerie Andrews. Happy belated New Year to you and the hubs. Okay, so first of all, how's everyone doing? It's a new year. Last time I saw you was last year. So how is everyone? Fill me in. Give me the deets. How has your new year been so far? How was your holiday? How's everyone doing? I have lots of stories. Of course, we haven't seen each other in a hot minute. But first, please feel free to let me know how you're doing. I always feel like I'm in the Matrix with Valerie, Mr. Smith. Hello, Mr. Anderson. I did terrible impression, but it was on. It's been lazy and restful, much needed. I love to hear that, Lee. I know how busy you are, and that is awesome. Restorative rest, restorative time is fantastic. Bargain Beauty, first time here. Welcome. I wish we had welcome prizes. We do not, but hopefully our our personalities, and just the company is gift enough. If you have any questions, Bargain, don't hesitate to ask. This is really just a conversation between me and all of you. We usually talk OCD and related disorders. Of course, anything's on the table. So please feel free to ask or comment. Everybody here is fantastic and awesome, and you'll see a whole chat and conversation going on beyond the chat and conversation I'm having. So, oh wow. Yeah, if you have questions about OCD, also if you want to sit back and just listen, there's no wrong or right way to do this thing. We're glad you're here. Where was I? Take the green pill. Hi, Ethan. I've been struggling a lot with a lot of social avoidance, unable to respond to calls or messages the past few years, and was wondering if you had any advice for that and for tackling a backlog of to-dos, people to respond to. Thank you. Thank you, Simon, for asking that question. I can definitely, answer that from a, OCD and related disorders perspective. I might have a follow-up question for you. Just because it depends, essentially. Well, let me ask you, Simon, why are you avoiding social interactions, calls, answering messages, replying back to people? Do you get a lot of anxiety, or is there a specific fear associated with it? Is there a diagnosis beyond OCD or social anxiety that you're dealing with? If you don't mind giving me a little bit more information, we can definitely talk about a few things, because I can absolutely relate. So just feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll come back around. Why am I questioning my existence? I don't know, because I had 2 weeks off, and when you stop working and your brain starts kicking up, you ask yourself a lot of really intense, deep questions. So I never came to an answer. So I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad to be here. So yeah, but that was why, essentially. I'm sure many of us can relate to some quiet time and how things can get kind of loud. Cash, I'm sorry you had a meltdown on Christmas Day. It is life, but I am sorry for that, and I hope you are melting less at the moment and feeling a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Cash. IOCDF is a great resource. Ethan is quite light. I'm not sure if he's talking about my weight. Probably not. Quite a light, like a shining beacon of hope. That's what I'm going to roll with. But appreciate it, Cash, nonetheless. Robert Spence, you're on the mothership. Welcome. I like it. FYI, refer to Ethan sometimes because of my respect and love for him and Katie. Just saying. Absolutely, Miss Andrews. The respect and love is mutual at every level. We love you, and I will take it. I will take it. Mr. Smith is my father, except when it comes to you. You can call me Mr. Smith anytime. Okay. Oh gosh. Deirdre, I have 2 herniated discs in my neck pressing on the spinal cord. I'm grateful because my OCD has taken a back seat of the bus. Yeah, sometimes our brains can only navigate one issue at a time, and when you're in that kind of pain, I would imagine that it's kind of on the back burner. I'm so sorry. Ugh, that sounds terrible. I hope you get that situated pretty quickly. We're sending you lots of love, lots of good thoughts and prayers. I hear an echo sometimes, Selwyn. I don't know. I got a heart from Love Lana. I will take that. And I definitely want to, Simon, again, please feel free to follow up in the comment thread whenever you feel like it. Zach in the house. He's like, hey, Queens. I like it. I'm in for that. Hey, Zach, Happy New Year. What was I going to say? So please feel free to load the comment thread with questions. Weird how my best times are in panic situation. Shows your mind can beat it. True. Neurosurgeon appointment tomorrow morning. Okay, good. Hopefully you'll get some answers and get that resolved quickly. So I took, with a little bit of work here and there, I took pretty much almost 2 weeks off, and overall, it was nice. Got to spend some time. Obviously, spent lots of beautiful time with Katie and my wife and our new home, and really enjoyed the holidays that way. Saw lots of family. Well, my parents came over a couple times and had some friends and family in town. I will say, and thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. I hope you had a nice holiday as well. I will say that this particular holiday, as I joked about earlier about an existential questioning my existence, my thoughts were quite loud over the holidays. And yes, Reverend Katie is by far my better half in every respect. So that is the truest statement, Cash. And also, before I go back, I agree. OCD does take a backseat in trauma, oddly, and in situations where we kind of have to step up and help someone else or help ourselves in a crisis, as you were saying. So that is interesting, right? So I found my I don't know that it was my OCD per se, but that voice was very loud for me. And a lot of questions came up. I wouldn't say that I compulsed anymore over Christmas or over the holidays or had, OCD per se, but definitely a lot of emotions, a lot of intense thoughts and questions and reflections about the year. For those of us that have been together all year this year, it was definitely a year filled with ups and downs. And so I think I was reflecting on that and kind of processing everything. And I found it very challenging at times. I kind of bought into the stigma of I'm on vacation, I should be having a really good time. And why am I having feelings or having emotions, and why am I feeling a certain kind of way that isn't happy and gleeful and perfect, even though I just spoke about that 2 weeks earlier, saying it's okay to just show up as you are. So I was I didn't necessarily listen to my own advice. I don't know if any of you can relate to that experience over the holidays, but that was definitely me. And so, yeah. So I'm sorry, I was reading comments. So I was really judgy around myself about how I was feeling and how I should be feeling and what I should be doing, and putting a lot of pressure on myself to vacation. Like, okay, it's vacation. I should be vacationing. I should be peaceful and serene and just like nothing's bothering me. And all of those things. So I'm curious to know if anybody else have a similar experience over the holidays as me. And I also had the great holidays, and there was a lot of great moments as well. But it was definitely emotionally intense. But that's okay. That's okay. I think that's part of the process, and lots of silver linings were to be had. 713, hey, Ethan, is there any connection between OCD and Tourette syndrome? I think there is a huge link. It has not been properly studied. It's a great question. As I'm not a doctor or clinician, we know that individuals, a lot of individuals with OCD do present with Tourette's or Tourettic behavior, and individuals with Tourettic behavior also many times have OCD. I would imagine that there is a link, and they are treated sort of in the same spectrum within the related disorders community. As far as the science behind the connection, I'm not 100% sure. There might be some information on the IOCDF website, or a quick Google or ChatGPT search might uncover some additional findings. But it's a great question, and I do know there's been some studies on it. So I'd be happy to look into that for you and see what can come up. If anybody in the chat has any insight, I know we have a couple doctors in the house. So if anybody has any additional insight, please feel free to weigh in. But I'm going to make a note of that and see what I can't find. And on our next session, on our next live, which is 2 weeks from today, we can circle back around to that. But great question. Thank you. I mean, in short, I would say yes, but I don't have anything to back that up other than experiences in meeting lots of folks at the OCD conference that have Tourette's and OCD. So, Selwyn said, I have to say this, I'm 57 years old. They say my OCD was started via head trauma at 7. Everyone here that does not have OCD, that does have OCD, needs to know, as weak as you all feel sometimes, we are in fact stronger than we all think. As well, deal with emotions, etc. At times, normal mind cannot, and we are still here. Don't let your OCD master you. Learn all you can about your own OCD and learn how it works, and master the OCD. As flawed as we are and as weak as we feel, the fact we are still here is proof we are strong. I think it cut off your comment, Selwyn. But I appreciate that, and I wholeheartedly agree. I constantly say that we are strong. That we are strong. Some of the strongest individuals on the planet, and if anything, OCD has taught me how strong I actually am, and consistently, at times, reminds me of that strength, even when I think I may have lost it or I'm not that person anymore. I definitely, when I was struggling and at my worst 15 years ago, did things and found things out about myself and pushed through situations that I never would have imagined me doing. And I uncovered an inner strength that I never thought I had. And at different periods throughout my life since then, that has continued to be the case. And I absolutely agree with Selwyn that, you know, we all share that quality and that attribute 100%. And so, you know, it can all feel challenging, and we can all have this sense of brokenness or weakness when in fact, you know, that is just a thought and a feeling. And in reality, we are incredibly strong and brilliant individuals. And we do have the ability to overcome this and really live meaningful, full lives in spite of our OCD. And so thank you, Selwyn, for that. I think that's a great reminder. And I totally agree with you. So thanks. Let's see here. CJ wrote, yes, significant overlap between OCD and Tourette's, add an ADHD, and you have the trifecta. Okay, thank you, CJ. And that's what I thought. But you had fun overall. I'm guessing you're talking about the holidays. And yeah, absolutely, I did. I don't look back at it and question. Bargain wrote, because your expectation wasn't reality, our brains can't just switch to okay time and have fun now when having absolutely. I think my expectation around my time off is always I put a lot of pressure on myself because my work and my days are so extremely busy and hectic, and I don't take a lot of time off. So when I do, I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself for it to be perfect time off, which means, you know, carefree. And it's not so much that I expect there to not be obsessive thoughts or compulsive actions or anything like that. And I don't think that I had and I know actually I didn't have a lapse or an OCD blip, if you will. My mind was just kind of loud. You know, remember, it takes, you know, having the OCD thoughts is not having the obsessive thoughts doesn't mean that you're having OCD. You have to engage in the obsessions and the compulsions in order to make it the disorder. And I like to be mindful of that because I think it's a little bit easier to be compassionate with yourself if you're noticing a lot of thoughts, which we can't control. Those happen, right? But we're not engaging in the compulsions to alleviate the anxiety or discomfort that the thoughts are causing. But wholeheartedly agree with you. My expectations typically aren't reality. And I just talked to my therapist today about, you know, kind of like maybe realigning what my expectations are and determining how best to navigate those things. So Bargain Beauty, welcome to the conversation. You are officially initiated with wonderful insight, and thank you for that. So Zach wrote, just wanted to thank you and the IOCDF for all you do. Through ERP, my Y box has plummeted 29 to 12, resisting compulsions to the point where some bad things happen and I don't spiral as much. Zach, that's amazing. I'm so excited to hear that. That's unbelievable. And that's just a testament to your hard work and what you've been able to do. Please give yourself lots of love and self-compassion as you continue to move forward. Keep in mind that it's a process, right? So sometimes it'll pop back up. I don't mean the numbers. I just mean, the OCD. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. That doesn't mean that you're weak or you're sick. It just is the nature of OCD. And when we recognize that and just use the skills and tools we have, fight a little bit harder and kind of jump on it right away, it goes back down very quickly. I always like to look at it as like, the fire kind of pops up. It's a very small fire. We don't give it oxygen and it quickly goes out and is extinguished. So that's awesome, Zach. And I hope it continues, and I know it will. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. CJ wrote, there's overlap in the areas of the brain that light up for the trifecta on functional MRI, suggesting adjacent brain structures. That's in relation to OCD, Tourette's, and ADHD. So CJ, thank you so much. Bargain, Cash has agreed with you. Cash is the mayor of this conversation and pretty much sets all the rules and regulations. And so if Cash has blessed you, then you are family. Zach wrote, it's wild how OCD distorts our thinking so much that we're really in it. I went from everyone hates me, I'm harming everyone, I need to fix everything wrong, to meh. Yeah, it's true. And it's also weird how we can see it so easily in other people, but it's really hard to see in yourself. It's just, you just lose all that sense of objectivity. You're no longer viewing from a third-party perspective, sort of a curious scientist. You're just in it. It's very similar to, being in a toxic relationship and everyone else can see it. And you're like, no, but we're in love and it's fine. And you make excuses for it when everybody else is like, it's so obvious. Don't get out of that relationship. We are in a relationship with OCD where it's like, no, it's fine. It's true. It's all real. And everybody's like, nope, it's not accurate. And when you get that objectivity and insight, sort of aha moment is really powerful. And I think it's so important for all of us to see. I love when hearing about treatment and resources work, and it's so important to remind ourselves of that. Whether you're struggling right now, whether you're in a great spot, and just knowing the nature of the disorder and how it behaves, that we can always come back to our basics and skills and tools and resources and friends and community, and get better quickly. So awesome, Zach. We ain't flawed, we just us. I'm trying to picture that in your accent, Cash. I know you think I have an accent. I think you have an accent. So I'm just saying, though. And Selwyn, absolutely, we are strong. Looks like the wife is here, although I'm 10 minutes or a few minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes behind. Hi, Katie. Good to see you. I see there's a conversation of meds. Please feel free to have the med conversation. I try to not talk about meds too much, as I am not a psychiatrist, though I've been on most of them. And it's just such an individual experience. So, you can't base it on anybody else's experience. It's so specific to each individual. So I try not to answer or talk about meds specifically. But I guess if somebody has a question they're dying to know, I can at least try. But for the most part, if you see me not talking about medication, I'm not ignoring your chat. And Deleuze, I don't know if I think I've said this I also have bipolar, for what it's worth. So I have OCD and bipolar. And so I am on sort of a cocktail of things. Okay. Nikki Bradley, Dublin, 2025. What's up, Nikki? It's good to see you. Selwyn coming out with the good stuff today. We are stronger than the monster that wants to control us. Yeah, absolutely we are. We absolutely are. Yeah, this is an interesting statement, because I think that routine and purpose, at least personally, make me feel really good about myself. And I think purpose is really important. Routine obviously is so helpful in navigating OCD and related disorders. And so I know when I have things to do and places to be and people to talk to and people are relying on me, I used to be really scared of it, especially when I was struggling. Since then, it really helps. Simultaneously, though, when you get to a certain point where you're working, I think some burnout can occur, and then you really look forward to that time off until you have it. And then you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? I need to be working. So I think there's definitely a love-hate relationship with all of it, but I relate to that bargain. So for sure. And Deleuze wrote, I also don't like taking off because when I deviate from schedules, it just so happens that I never get back to them. Yeah, exactly. It's hard. It's hard to do that. So yeah, I agree with you. Let's see here. Space Notice. Tips for what people call pure OCD. Yeah, Cash wrote, what tips? Can you elaborate? I mean, I can definitely speak to Puro, but kind of wondering if you have any more detail. It's kind of a massive topic. So if you want to put that in the comment thread, I'm more than happy to talk about it. Absolutely, Lori. Totally agree with you. OCD never takes a break. That's why we are strong. It's important to quiet it down. Yeah, we put it in timeout, right? Stick it in the corner, in the back of the room. Every once in a while, it'll peep up, raise its hand, scream something, and you go, yep, thank you. You can go back to your corner now. Noted. Appreciate it. Okay, then. Thank you. Good job. And then you go about your life. Lee, realizing and understanding that I need a lot of rest to recharge has been a game changer for me. PJs and Netflix on a Wednesday morning. Yes, that's my Tuesday morning. Tuesdays are a busy day for me, Lee, but that's see, and that's what I was literally just talking to my therapist about this is how do I integrate, instead of putting so much pressure on myself to, pick the 1 week out of the year to have my time off and rejuvenate, how can I integrate more self-care into every day instead of like just working 24/7 and feeling like that's what I have to do. And if I don't do it, then I'm, not living up to my responsibilities, or I'm going to let people down, or I'm going to miss something. So I need to subscribe to the PJs and Netflix on Wednesday morning club. Lee, I think we should start it. And maybe we can all, it's like book club. Maybe we all watch the same thing and then we meet on a Wednesday morning and talk about it. I'm in, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. So 100% on the same page. That'd be what I'm talking about. Hi, Maya. I'm proud of myself today for handling a trigger that I saw on a TV show. Instead of panicking, I muted the TV, took a few deep breaths, and continued watching the episode calmly. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, you never know when stuff's going to pop up, but it does, and a thought happens, and a thought is a thought, right? And the feeling is a feeling, and if we can just identify it for what it is, recenter, reground ourselves, and get back to it, sometimes it can be that quick. I love hearing that. Lots of good stuff tonight. Thank you, Maya. Appreciate it. Beth Carducci. Beth, Happy New Year. I talk to people on the Reddit platform. It's called Zero COVID. Many of these people on the forum do not have OCD, and they're afraid of it just like me. Some have long COVID. How you doing? How was your holiday, Beth? Fill me in. And Happy New Year. Exactly. Start with that. Then we can get into the other stuff. Repeat what CJ said. CJ was just, it was some sciencey stuff. CJ was responding to the relationship between, there was a question about whether there was a connection between OCD and Tourette's. And although I know there is, I'm not so confident on the science about it. So CJ, the last thing CJ said was there's an overlap in the areas of the brain that light up for the trifecta of OCD, Tourette's, and ADHD on functional MRI, suggesting adjacent brain structures. So that's just a fancy way of saying, yep. I hope you laughed at that. I laughed in my head anyway. Perfect. Thank you, Selwyn. OCD expert opinions, OCD and Tourette syndrome. Yeah, I don't know if I can I copy? Let's see. No, I don't want to delete the comment. And I want to copy and paste it and then repost it in the, well, I don't know if anybody can, darn, I wish I could just copy and paste. That's really annoying. I wonder why. Sometimes they always drag the questions from the comment thread, but it's not letting me do it. I apologize. Actually, let me try this. Let me star it. And then, nope. All right. Well, yes, there is a article on the OCD, IOCDF.org, experts opinion, OCD and Tourette's. I think if you just search OCD and Tourette's too, there's some articles on it. So thank you, Selwyn, for that. Appreciate it. Ruh-roh, I just lost my place. Sometimes it does that. Sorry, I'm going back. I'm finding my place. Okay, there we are. We're back. Phew. Hey, Cash, I showed Ethan my Yes! Oh, Cash, you should see it. Beth sent me her nativity hermit crab scene, and it was fire. It was awesome. It was so much better than I ever could have imagined. And it was awesome. So she did. I mean, it lives up to the hype. It does. I feel like you should be able to drive through and check it out or something. I don't know. I feel like there's a money maker there. There is. Oh, you're welcome, Lori, for sure. Oh my gosh, Lana, I sneezed and actually blew out my eye drum Friday before Christmas. Then Christmas Eve in bed. The graft from rupture 9 years ago came out of my ear. It was gross when I realized that. First of all, your eardrum. Okay, I didn't know there was an eye. I literally, when I read this, I thought the first thing I thought was you sneezed and your eyeball popped out. So I hate that happened to you. I am glad that that's what happened rather than your eyeball popping out. That's a new one for me. With that being said, I am so sorry. That freaking sucks. And I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, and it is gross, but it sounds like you're hanging in there. Yeah, you're laughing at it. I love it. Robert Spence giving some hermit crab love. Yeah, I call it. So I have. Let's do this. Let's do this. I have OCD, bipolar. I do have PTSD, panic disorder, and somatic symptom disorder. I kind of call it like, I like to say that I have my main dish and then multiple sides. Although my main dish may have switched recently, so I'm not sure what the sides are. Maybe I have it's like a barbecue place. I don't know, but you can get like a 2 or 3 meat combo. Maybe that's what I'd move to. Like I have a 2 or 3 meat combo and then additional sides going on. But hopefully that was okay for me to share. I apologize for putting that up there, Bargain. You're already part of the family, but you're definitely not alone. It's important also, I have to say that, sometimes I know that there's a lot of stigma associated with multiple diagnoses. And it's important to note that, we all share the same goal, which is to live a full life. That is the goal. That's it. That is the goal. How do we live a full life? For me, the diagnosis is really just what path do we need to take to be able to get to living a full life. And after that point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, that you have 1 or 10. What matters is what are we doing and how do we get to this place of living a full, meaningful life, right? So, for those of you that feel stigmatized or stressed or upset, because you have multiple or whatever, please give yourself lots of love and self-compassion. We're all in the same place, whether you have OCD or you have OCD bipolar or 13 other things. We're all here because we want to support each other and live our best life. That's it. That's why we're all here. And so, please just keep that in mind as you continue to navigate. I know for myself, when I got my bipolar diagnosis, I was really upset about it. Really, really, really upset. Having just sort of conquered OCD and living my life, and now this hit, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I just sort of realized that, yes, there's a new diagnosis, but the goal is the same, which is how do I, continue to live a balanced, meaningful life? And so, hopefully that helps reframe if some of you are feeling like a little extra stigmatized around that. Duluth Road, I honestly think manic depression is a more accurate term than bipolar disorder, even more so than bipolar depression. So I think you have bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and then there's major depressive disorder. So for me, my bipolar, I actually haven't had an episode since I got diagnosed and treated, but I had hypomania. I actually don't have depression from it. I know lots of people that do. And then of course there's the bipolar one and the way that manifests. And then manic depression is, and I don't disagree with you, Deleuze. I mean, is sort of an older term for what's now, bipolar 1 and bipolar 2, and then major depressive disorder. But yeah, agreed. My OCD is germ-based, and I therefore use a lot of Glen 20 anti-bac sprays and even bug spray. I've struggled with this over 10 years. I'm so worried with all these fumes may be carcinogenic. I think that's fair. I think it's a fair worry. I mean, my question would be, I think this is your first time here. I would call you by something, but it's just dashes on YouTube and a bird. Actually, I thought it was an F at first. So I don't know what to call you, double dash. But I'd love to hear what you're doing or how you're doing. If you're in treatment, if there's ways we can support, you, please let us know. And we're glad to have you here. Yeah, Robert, I think an eardrum, Lana meant. Yeah, I really thought she popped out her eyeball when she sneezed, which is like all kinds of intrusive thoughts that none of us want to be having right now, but we are. So let's all thank Lana. Thank you, Lana, for your typo. And thank you, Ethan, for calling it out. I agree, Michael. Yeah, I can see why working more can help. Those of us with OCD get easily creatively restless, I think. Yeah. And creative, not necessarily in the ways we think of creative. It doesn't have to be poetry, art, music. I mean, just problem solving is creative. How we're navigating multiple things at once, taking phone calls, managing people, doing whatever your job is. There's all kinds of creativity loaded into that. So, she meant eardrum. I secretly wish she didn't mean eardrum because I don't know, just me. But Deleuze, Ethan, do you ever experience bad depressive episodes or not anymore after you began your medication regimen? So again, my depression, when I had depression, it was related to the OCD and it was a secondary diagnosis, meaning that the OCD was the cause of the depression. Obviously, the worse the OCD was, the more depressed I was. And at the worst of my OCD, I was obviously incredibly depressed. Once the OCD was well under control and managed, my depression went away. Not to say that I don't get depressed or sad, but I don't get clinically depressed or sad. The bipolar was manifesting in, like I said, hypomania, and I would have sort of the drop after that. It didn't manifest itself so much in depression as it did in just big exhaustion and needing sleep. So for me personally, I didn't have a depression associated with my bipolar, just the mania. But that's been totally curbed by a small dose of a mood stabilizer. And it's been completely under control now for 4 or 5 years. I think I haven't had an episode. So yeah. Yeah, you just spoke to sometimes it's hard to determine whether it's depression or OCD that's causing the problems. And sometimes I don't want people, I don't want to get stuck trying to determine what it is. I think, let your clinician, if you're with somebody, sort of determine that. But at the end of the day, like whether it's OCD or whether it's depression, the behavior is the same, right? We want to engage in behavioral activation. So if you're stuck in bed, we want to get up and do something. And if it's OCD, it's also behavioral therapy in terms of what we're doing with ourselves and our thoughts and our feelings. And so, we might be starting from 2 different places, but at the end, where we come together and what we want to do are exactly the same thing. So sometimes the why isn't necessary. I think at first it is, if depression is a primary diagnosis, then that would be treated as such. Most of the time, if it's a secondary diagnosis to the OCD, then lots and lots of times once the OCD is curbed and in a more maintenance management phase, the depression tends to subside. But yes, they do play off each other, as we said, we're in this together. Okay, now we know. It's Wednesday AM Australia 1993. Thank you, Lee. So technically, Lee, then I don't buy it because you said you watched Netflix wasn't there. We barely had the internet in 1993. I don't know. She's messing with us clearly. Let's see. Oh, I am way behind on comments. I am so sorry. Let's see here. Let me scroll down. Sorry for the silence. Maybe I'm out of practice. I don't know. Maybe I did have a vacation and I relaxed. Oh, I see Dexter. Ethan, I actually watched the episode of Dexter you were on it. You were very nice. Meanie Pants character. I've never been described as Meanie Pants, but I'll take it. And I thought you being afraid of throwing up while on the set 2 years ago. Yep, that is true. That is very true. Well, thank you. Thank you for the 3 cents that I earned by you watching it. I appreciate that. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. That's awesome. So Jen wrote, miss half of this, so not sure the topic. I suffer extreme depression after the holidays. Avoid all people, places, things. I'm struggling so hard to just get back to working one day at a time. I think that's totally normal, and I hope you're giving yourself a lot of self-compassion. I had, sometimes it's called the Sunday scaries. I had the Friday freakouts last Friday, knowing that the week was coming, and I think that's totally normal. And I think that, after, if you had a great holiday, and had some high highs, I think it's only natural to sort of have some dread and some lows and just not be sure how to reintegrate. We talked about routine earlier and re-entering the routine after it's been thrown off. I think you've nailed it, one day at a time. In the meantime, continue to do uncomfortable things and let yourself feel uncomfortable and be uncomfortable. That's totally okay. You can follow your values and still feel crappy, and it will get easier for sure. But I guarantee you, Jen, you're not alone in that. So I'm sorry you're going through it. I definitely felt it yesterday. And as I continue to get into the week, it gets easier and easier. It really does. And I think it will for you too. But yeah, I'm sure you're not alone in that. So hang in there, Jen. Like a dreidel. No, real is better. I love this, Nathan. I love that you don't feel any stigma. That's exactly. I hope that for everyone. I would like to say that I don't, and sometimes I buy into the voice that stigmatizes me far less than I used to, for sure, and it isn't the norm. But that's awesome. I love that, and I'm so glad. What is bipolar? Bipolar is another diagnosis. I just realized I'm so used to I'm so used to giving the definitions of OCD. I'm not used to just blurting out bipolar, but essentially it's a mental illness that causes, I guess, extreme mood shifts in person's energy and thinking and behavior and sleep. So you have manic episodes, which are feelings of, I guess, elation, irritability, energized. You can multitask a lot, and then depressive episodes. And then there's 2 types: bipolar 1 and bipolar 1 and bipolar 2, which each in and of themselves have different symptoms and so forth. That's a pretty lame attempt at defining bipolar, but that's in a nutshell. There isn't a direct correlation between bipolar and OCD. If you have comorbidity around it, it's for whatever reasons, but there isn't scientific evidence that individuals with OCD have prevalence of bipolar and vice versa. So, but great question. Jay, I have health OCD, a bit of PTSD. I say somatic symptom disorder as well. I start to think of all the different other physical issues I may or may not have, but probably all comes down to OCD or fibromyalgia. I've been reading about neuroplasticity and the mind-body syndrome, which seems to make sense of all this crap. Thanks for you're so welcome. Yeah, neuroplasticity is really, really helpful in understanding a lot of this. And I kind of like that you said all this crap. I think that's a great way to put it. It's just like all this crap. I don't think we get rid of the names. I think in DSM-5, you open it up and it just says all this crap. That's it. I totally relate to a lot of what you're experiencing and thinking. Great conversation, and thanks for all the support and backup in the chat. You guys are coming out strong in 2025. I'm excited for this year. I really, really am. I think it's going to be a really amazing, special year. Last year was both great and horrific all at the same time. I know it was challenging for so many of us. I think it's really special coming back here in 2025. Many of us have formed relationships, friendships, being here consistently over the last year, and saw each other through lots and lots of things. If you're new tonight, I look forward to doing that with you and joining the fold in 2025. I'm excited to see this group grow. But you're all amazing folks with lots of us, lots to teach. And I learn from you all every time we meet and talk. And you definitely hold me accountable. And my continued, I was going to say battle, but that's not the right word. My continued management and maintenance of my OCD and related disorders. And so, yeah, I'm super excited for 2025. I think it's going to be a good year, for sure. Let's see. Hey, Ethan and fam, thanks for the warm welcome. I'm James from Sydney, Australia. Nice to meet you all. Only someone across IOCDF last week. You will see me frequently now. Awesome. We've got a heavy contingency from Australia. Lee is from Australia. Zach is from Australia. Some of our favorite therapists are from Australia. We love Australia. And James, thank you for introducing yourself. It's a pleasure to have you here. And we're excited to continue to see you. And if you have questions or additional comments or thoughts, please feel free to ask. So I think you asked about, you had the Puro question, I think, didn't you? Or was that somebody else? I apologize, but welcome. I'm really grateful that my magical thinking is gone. The thoughts still come back, but I don't act on them. Just say no to compulsions. I love it. Let's bring the 80s back. Let's just say no t-shirts. But to compulsions. I'm in. I like that. Deleuze, good description. I'm still able to be productive with mental compulsions. I white knuckle a lot, and it's physically as well as mentally exhausting. Yeah. And also, unfortunately, as much as we white knuckle, that doesn't get us to a place of recovery. I think that going through and just letting go of the rope and going into being productive with mental compulsions and just letting them be there and trying to come back to the present moment over and over again is a lot more effective, but easier said than done, for sure. Trying to catch back up. Can I just add that I don't like OCD in going on 46 years. So I don't think there's any of us. It's funny. I'm grateful for the journey because we wouldn't be here together, and I wouldn't have met all of you, and I'm exactly where I need to be. With that being said, OCD can, and so yeah, I think it's okay to still not like OCD, for sure. Oh, Dexter. Yes, I was a serial rapist, so I was pretty mean. But I got what was coming to me, I guess. I got chopped up. So there you go. All right, we got some beach talk. We have some crabs, seagulls. Hey, Chad in the house. I saw your Instagram message today. I need to respond to you. We'll definitely talk. But Robbie actually brought you up during the last human narrative. Both of us have brought you up in the ICF. Thank you for that, Chad. It's good to see you. I hope you had good holidays. I will get back to you on Instagram. I absolutely will. I'm not the best at Instagram messaging, but I did see it today. So I got you and look forward to talking. I love all the Australia love. A bipolar bear. Oh, I like that. I'm a big fan of puns. So I think why not? Let's be a bipolar bear. I think that's cute. I don't know. People love polar bears, so I may have made that joke my sense once before. But Zach, I'm in. Let's do it. That's awesome. All right, Selwyn. I'm not putting that up there, but that's funny. There you go. You open up DSM-6 and it says, "Good luck." Here's some gum. Here's a gummy bear. Have fun. Nikki Bradley, I'm feeling very positive at the moment. I'm still in the process of fighting to keep my house and, of course, fight the OCD thoughts that come with it. But I just have a feeling this year is going to be good. Also in a new relationship, what helps the mood. That's amazing, Nikki. I'm so happy for you. And any ways we can support you. But thank you for sharing. And we love you and send you lots and lots of love, at least from here over the pond and through the woods to Nikki's house we go. And so I'm so glad. I feel the same way about this year as well. I think it will be a great. I'm glad we all feel the same way about this year. So I think it's gonna. If we all feel this way, and as Michael always says, and we always say, we are some of the brightest, strongest, creative people we know. Guess what? It's gonna be a good year. It's got to be because we said so. Also, love. Now that I've calmed down from your original typo, I am sorry that happened. That's got to be terrifying and horrible. And I hope you're feeling better. And we're sending you lots of good healing vibes and love. Aussie. There's a. I love it. Oh, here we go. I love resources too. Center for Clinical Intervention, CCI in Western Australia has some great articles and worksheets for free. That's awesome. Thank you, CJ, for that. Appreciate. And yeah, Kim Quinlan is from Australia. That was the therapist that I was referring to. Your Anxiety Toolkit on Instagram. Yeah, I think she changed it from Kim Quinlan to Your Anxiety Toolkit, or vice versa. Anyway, follow her. She is a amazing human being, an amazing therapist, and a great account to follow, and has incredible resources. So we are gigantic, big Kim Quinlan fans in this house for sure. Absolutely. Oh, Jen. Thank you. I love it. It's up and we love it. So, okay. Thank you for the connection. Sometimes when people are out of places and not in the perfect, I'm so glad you said that. Okay. Thank you, Jen. It's really cool too. We have it in our little area, Christmas little things. We love it. Do you do anything movie related anymore? Not really. I mean, I write still, and the goal is to write some more movies. I mean, I produced 2 short films last year. One was Waving, which was OCD specific, and I like producing a lot. And I still write and have some serious goals and projects that I'd like to work on. And so, definitely like to get back into it. Not as an actor. I really fell out of love with that about 10 years ago. But definitely it's like, I love writing and directing. And I direct and write a lot of commercials, and I did the OCD commercials. I've done a lot of other commercials recently. And so still involved in the entertainment industry 100%, but I'm not acting anymore now. So you never know. Maybe one day I'll jump back in front of camera, but I honestly like just kind of laying low. This is where I'll be in front of the camera right here. Yeah, it's cold. It's currently 33 here. I'm in Atlanta, and it's supposed to go down to 26 tonight, and it's supposed to snow on Friday. So we shall see. We shall see. But it's been very cold. Aw, thank you, Jane. I love Sweet Rev Katie too, for sure. You're so welcome. I don't know. I found this kind of funny. I mean, maybe I wouldn't doubt it, but it's a valid question. Although, are they dangerous, or is it just sort of like Darwin's playground? It's some weird stuff out there, but super cute stuff too. I think we should all take a trip. We should take a community conversation retreat to Lee's house. Selwyn can join. James can join. And I think we spend a week in Australia. We'll have Kim come out, and maybe we'll do like a self-compassion, OCD, just retreat in Australia. I'll try to not have a perfect vacation. We can all work on stuff, be together, and have a great time down under. Let me know your thoughts. I think that'd be fun. We should do it. Oh, so you left. Okay, good to know. No, you should not. She should not. If I scroll down and see some, you should not drop embarrassing film links. I have done some embarrassing stuff other than Dexter. We don't speak about those. Okay, stop, Katie. I'm reading. Anyway, so yeah, we do all feel good about 2025 for sure. For sure, isn't it? See, okay, I'm in. I want to come. All right, so we're in on the Australia. That's cool though. We could do Japan too. I was just thinking with all our friends in Australia, we have free places to stay. I mean, that's kind of where I was going with it. Of course, there it is. Okay, we're in. Sleepover at mine. Ethan, I actually have a huge plan for that. Okay, see, we're gonna connect. We're gonna do it. We're gonna put it together, and we'll do something cool. And then we can all be afraid of scary large animals in Australia that are weird, but also amazing. I'm glad we're all on the same page. See, 2025 is already shaping up to be phenomenal. No, do not egg her on, CJ. It would be interesting to go on a treat together. It'd be super. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Thank you. And my mother's great. My mom, I don't know what that comment is. Oh, can I go too? So my mother and my wife is here. You know what? The more the merrier. I think we can all go to Australia. You can meet my mom. We can have Kim Quinlan. Katie, bring your parents. And I think it'd be awesome. We have what do we call it? CC overseas? But no, because some of you are there. So CC down under. I like that. I'm down for CC down under. I don't know. We'll think about a name. That'd be awesome if we could all get together. We should plan something. I think that would be so cool. Of course, there's the IOCDF conference in Chicago. It is the 30th anniversary of the OCD conference. They're actually accepting proposals now through the end of this month. So if you'd like to speak at the OCD conference, you can visit their iocdf.org/conference. They do a lot of / and then whatever the thing is. That's a guess, but I feel pretty solid about that. So if you want to submit, be awesome for everybody to come down. Oh my God, Ethan, bring your sense of humor when you come down here, and don't forget the anti-venom. I thought you just sucked it right out, Selwyn. You just suck out the venom and spit. I wanna do what they did in the bush. None of that anti-venom crap. Lee's like, you need the anti-venom. Trust me. Everybody's funny tonight. I love it. I mean, not that you're not funny before, but this is great. This is a great conversation. This totally changed my mood around. Oh my God. I can't believe you said Flat Stanley. I didn't know that, but Duluth, in 3rd grade, I read Flat Stanley, and I had a framed picture over my bed and went home and took it down because I was convinced that picture was going to land on me when I was asleep, just like Flat Stanley, and end up flat like Stanley. And even though there were a lot of cool things that he could do, I wasn't interested. Maybe it was my OCD. But I haven't thought about Flat Stanley in 100 years. So thank you. That totally made my night. We're going for coffee. Koala. I like that, Zach. Koala holding. Is that an exposure? Or is that comfort? I feel like that'd be comfortable. Like if we all hug a koala, I feel like Oh, down under conversations. I like that. I feel like, and Dr. McGregor will bring Patrick too. Absolutely. I think, yeah, I feel like holding koala hugging would be like a decent therapy for OCD. Jane, Seattle is, I want to say, after Chicago. I don't think I'm making that up. It was Seattle was originally COVID year, and then it went back east middle. I'm pretty sure it's 2026. Pretty sure. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure. Koalas have a lot of chlamydia. I think we end on that. I actually, there's a bird, a gold, is it goldfinch? No, there's a bird at my pet store right near my grocery store that it says it's chlamydia free. Apparently, that goes around in that bird community, and it says Goldie is her name, and that she doesn't have chlamydia. So I guess your koalas and Goldies aren't together. But I think that's a good place to stop. We started with OCD, and we'll end on chlamydia. Man, you guys are awesome. My heart is full. I am feeling lots of love and lots of warmth. I really hope you are too. For those of you that were new tonight, thank you so much for joining us. This was a super fun, light conversation. I know we talked about, but please, we are here every other Tuesday. We can talk about anything OCD related. Also, I'm not sure what the schedule is tomorrow, but there's lunch and learns and other programming. I think, let me just real quick see if here we go. You can go there, iocdf.org/live streams and look at all the other programs. Also, you can visit the libraries, the video libraries on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and see years of previous streams and things like that. But y'all are phenomenal, and I love y'all so much. So with that, I just want to thank the IOCDF. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, you can always find resources and help at iocdf.org. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you are on whatever social media platform so you're notified when we come on live. And other than that, thank you so much for being here. As always, like I said, you can actually reach out to the IOCDF at info@iocdf.org if you have questions, comments. Other than that, have a wonderful day or night, depending whether you're here or Australia. Stay safe, stay vigilant, feel the feels. Don't let OCD off the hook. And we will see you 2 weeks from today. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Good night.